Okay, welcome to the channel. I'm just going to go over a market review for today, August 4th. Now, what we're looking at is this right here. I did my stream with Interactive Brokers. I'm kind of in limbo right now. I couldn't trade at all today, but I'm kind of in limbo because I'm moving brokers and Lightspeed. The money's been taken out of my account, so Lightspeed should be working tomorrow morning, hopefully. But we will definitely be up and running with Lightspeed with real trading streaming with the Lightspeed platform, hopefully tomorrow morning. So, and this right here is a Lightspeed platform. This is what the stream is going to look like for when I'm streaming. But what I'm going to do is just go over a market review of what was done today and what the scanner showed up and how you could have made some plays today. This is the triple Qs. So this is the Qs, and we're moving up, which is nice. Past couple of days we had big sell off. Looks like we're trying to close that gap, but what we could have done is this morning we showed up, and then about 9:32 we had a little micro pullback, and then you could have gotten in on the break of that micro pullback and rode it up. But right here there was a little bit of volume right there, so that might not have been too good. But we had a run up. We had a micro pullback here. We were riding the non-EMA, and the volume right there was kind of heavy, so you could have tried to go in on that break right there and maybe try to go a little bit light, and then once we broke the high you can add to the position, and you probably could have made yourself like 25 cents. I mean, you can trade an ETF if you have the capital to do it. That's not a problem. But as you can see here on the 5-minute, we were making higher highs and higher lows. That's pretty good. But early morning, let's take a look at early morning. INMB, I believe that was early morning. Yeah, so it showed up on the RVOL scanner. I do have an RVOL scanner that I usually show. This is RVOL scanner right here is the RVOL scanner. So anything that has a relative volume of 5 times or more will show up here, and it has to be 50,000 in volume in order for it to show up. So INMB showed up. That was at 8:04. So let's come over here. Let's take a look at 8:04. As you can see here on the 5-minute, we kind of ran up. And if you do play on the 5-minute, you could have played the pullback on this down to the session VWAP, and then or made the trade the break of that and then the break of the high and get yourself a little bit of money. But I just used the 5-minute as like confirmation that we're moving up. So it showed up on the RVOL scanner right here. As you can see, there's a reason why, because the volume was pretty massive. It came in here. It was around 500,000 volume, and it ran up, and then we had a pullback here, but the pullback was quite substantial, and then it was with volume. But and then we had a little inside bar right there, and then if you would have gotten in on the break of that bar right there, you possibly would have gotten stopped out right down in here. So that might have been not so good of a trade to take, just because if you look at the volume right there, that volume coming in is not what you want to see. And also, the low of that actually was substantially pretty big. It was more than 50% of this high green bar right here, and that's not what you're looking for. So we had a run up here. So we ran up here, we ran up, and then we had a pullback, and the pullback was right here. So we had a pullback. It dipped down below the non-EMA. So if you play the non-EMA bounce, you would have to look at the ATR and see where that pullback would be. But you could also do the previous low, which would be right here. That would be the stop out area. Or if you're looking at the ATR, and Maybe the ATR could have been like maybe 10, 15 cents. So you would do 10, 15 cents below the EMA, which would be down in here. But we had a bar, an inside bar right here. We didn't break the low, we didn't break the high. And you could have gotten in on the break of this bar right here on the pullback. And if you look at the volume is right here. So the volume was going down a little bit, but it was still kind of high. So you might not, if you go in like 1,000 shares, maybe you want to go in only 500 shares, or start out as like 200 shares and then start adding. When it breaks this high here, you can add to the position. But you could have gotten yourself maybe 15, 20 cents out of this trade on INMB. That showed up on the relative RVOL scanner. Like right here, we have an RVOL showing up, RVOL 13X, 9X, 64,000 volume. So let's take a look at VRI. VRI, yeah, there's probably nothing there. Yeah, I probably just wouldn't trade it. There's really nothing there. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I normally make my money between 7 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Majority of the money is made between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, to be quite honest, if you look at the stats. But let's look at another trade was SNGX. SNGX was down at 827. It showed up on the RVOL scanner at 827. So right up in here, it popped on the RVOL scanner right here. Now the thing is, it's kind of hard to play this one because we had a pullback here and the volume was low, but we had a wick down. It opened up and it wicked down. That's a little concerning. So if you played the EMA bounce off of that, you probably got stopped out on that. But if you kept your eye on it, as you can see right here, we were running down, but then right here, we started running back up and the volume started increasing. And we closed above the 9 EMA on this one. This candle right here, we started running up. There's really no micro pullback in here, so you really can't get in. I mean, we had an extension off the 9 EMA right here, but there's not much of an extension off of it. So the only thing that I can see that possibly could have been made is this right here. We had a run up, and then this right here kind of had like a small pullback. We had a slight bounce off of 9 EMA, didn't get too close to it, but you could have played the break of this area right here because the volume was kind of decreasing right here. Could have played the break of that on this candle here, and that possibly would have netted you maybe 10, 15 cents right there. But that was about the only thing on the pre-market. So let's delete all that. Go back to INMB. Lines, we'll just delete all of that. And right here on the right-hand side, on the watch list this morning, I had SNGX, INMB, PBM, and PTBD. Now, those were on the low floaters. As you can see here, PTBD, BPM, and SNGX is, I think that's kind of dropped off. But that was a low floater as well. Let's look at SNGX. SNGX shares outstanding 2 million. Yeah, if you look there on the level 2, the shares outstanding is 2 million. So let's look at SNGX and what happened in the morning. As you can see here on the 5-minute, this is the daily right here, and the 5-minute is right here. So the 5-minute, we opened up and we just kind of puked it out. We just slammed right back down, and it's just been staying down there. So there was really no trade to be had here because once it goes below the VWAP and the non-EMA on a 5-minute, it's really not good. There's no reason to trade that. And as you can see here, we just kind of just ran right on down. So there was no trade on SNGX, and I thought for sure, if you listened to the stream, I thought for sure that this would be a pretty good one to trade when the market opens, but that's not the case. That's not what happened. And also INMB, as you can see on the 5-minute, it's below the EMA, below the VWAP. So there's really no trade to be had there. PBM. So this was on my watch list as well, and so was BTDD. If we look right here. So PBM, let's take a look at that. So when that opened up, those were the 4 that I was looking at. And as you can see here, this right here, we had a nice bullish engulfing candle. We kind of sold off bullish engulfing candle right here. We kind of wicked down to the non-EMA. You could have played the non-EMA bounce right there, and your stop would be the ATR. But we kind of ran up, and we had a pullback right in here. And you could have played the pullback on the break of this right here. You could have played the break of that, and your stop would be down in here. Stop would be down in here. Now, you possibly could have gotten stopped out because, well, I think it opened up and then it came down and then it broke on this candle right here. So you get on the break of the high right up in here, up in this area. You get the break and then you kind of run up. You could have netted yourself maybe 30 cents on this move right here. You're not going to get the whole move. You're just looking to get a portion of the move. But if you look at the 1 minute, right here, I also have a 5-minute chart that I'm looking at. It's like a little thumbnail chart, and I have it beside this chart here. So I know you don't see it, it's off screen, but I have the 1 minute, are these right here are the 1 minutes, and then right beside them, I have a 5-minute. So the 5-minute is more of a confirmation. So delete all. So out of the 4, there was one really decent one that we're looking for. And BTBD, we opened up and we kind of ran up. And as you can see here on this candle right here, the first 5 minutes, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is this right here, we're kind of above the VWAP, above the non-EMA on the 5-minute, and we're riding the non-EMA on the 1 minute. So this pullback here, you could have played that because look at the volume, it is lower, and you could have played the break of that. So you could have played that, considered a micro pullback. You could have played the break of that, and then you could have added to the break of it right here on this candle. Then we had the micro pullback here. If you didn't get on this one, you could have gotten in on the micro pullback on this one here and played the break of that one right there. So if you didn't get the pullback of this, we ran up, we had another micro pullback right here. As you can see, the volume is not higher, it's about almost equal. But what you can do is just go in on the break of that, and your stop would be down here. So get in on the break, maybe at 290, and your stop would be, I get 270. So that's about a 20-cent stop. And we definitely made 20 cents. We made roughly about $1 on that trade. So if you got in, even if you got in at $3 and it ran all the way up to $4, but you got $1 on that trade, then it got halted. So you want to make sure you are looking at the level 2 right here when we're running up, and you got the LULD right here, which means limit up, limit down. You got to keep your eye on that. I mean, you should be seeing that anyways, because once you get in these trades, let's say you get in on the break of 289. Okay, you know you want to get in on the break of the 289. So there's no reason really to be looking at the chart because you know you want to get in at 290 and your stop is at 270. So 290, 270, you come over here to the level 2 and you're looking at a 290 break. So you're looking at 290 break. You're looking at the quantity coming in. You're looking at the level 2 to see what's going on. If you see big orders on the bid, let's say you get in at 290 and there's a big order on the bid, like a 285, you know that's support. So you're good to go. And let's say you see somewhat of a big order here at 288. And then all of a sudden it goes from, let's say, 20,000 to 15 to 10 to 8 to 5. And then all of a sudden you can jump in a little bit before the break because you know that's getting eaten up and you might get that spike out of there. You get a spike up so you know you're in. You want to be looking at the level 2. This is mainly what you want to be looking at. This is like looking out the front windshield of a car. And then this right over here, the 1 minute, is like your side view mirror. And then the 5 minute is like your right side view mirror, which means you're running up. You're making higher highs, higher lows. There we go. It's kind of off a little bit. Still getting used to the platform. 279, 279. So you get a break right here, 279, and then you had a nice run up. So out of the 4, SNGX, INMB, PBM, and BTBD, those were on the list that I was watching. And on the stream, I was calling off some other ones that you're looking at. What you want to do is you really want to pick, like, let's say you want to trade the low floaters. Let's say you don't want to trade biggest movers. You get rid of that, biggest movers. Let's say you only want to trade the low floaters. Let's say top traded. You can look at top traded. You can trade the top traded. BTBD was there. I mean, that's a float of 3 million. We had a change of 100% so far. Let's say you only want to trade low floaters. What you can do is just go into here and only look at the low floaters. You can look at the R-vol movers to see if something pops up on there. And what you should do, this right here, these low floaters, the ATRs right here, got the price that's updating in real time. So the prices are updating. Verb and BTBT are going pretty good. You got news right here that you can read. Everything's right here in front of you. So this is the news that has happened today. You have your change percentage and you have your float and you have your 1 minute volume. And what you can do is just take the top 4 right here. Now, this isn't showing the top 4, the highest percentages. This shows, this is sorted by volume because I don't care if something's 100%, but it might have real low volume. Something could be up 25% and have a real high volume. I'd rather trade the one that's up 25% with real high volume than something that's just kind of spiked up and has hardly any volume. That's why I have this sorted by volume. And you can just go in and do the top 4. After a few minutes, after market settles down, you'll get your low floaters. You'll get the top 4 that have volume coming in. And you just come over here and you put the top 4 on the charts right here. Or if you want to look at 6 or 8 of them, you can do that. And then you just kind of look for your setups. Out of like 4, you might get 1 setup. But that's really all you need is 1 good trade a day. So that's what I just wanted to go over. Go ahead and like and subscribe and make sure you download the scanner. It's free while it's in beta. And go ahead and tell me what you think about it. That's all I have. Later.